Hello and welcome back to the Extra Movie Butter Podcast. Wait. Hello and welcome to Benny and Moose Save America, where every week we strike back against toxic fandom and the failure of the American education system through the power of barroom trivia. Benny is not around because Benny is going to be playing in this game. I, Moose, will be handling not only the hosting duties, the question asking duties, but also the bartending duties for this week. I don't know if you folks have heard, but there is a fever that is sweeping the nation, and it is called the Extra Movie Butter Podcast. If you're not tuning in on Spotify or on iTunes to the Extra Movie Butter Podcast, you're missing out because we have not just me. I'm just the host. I'm nobody important, but we have possibly the two greatest personalities in the history of podcasting, and that is one Benny Hamlin and one JT. Now, how this match came about? Well, Benny is quote unquote the 80s aficionado of our group. However, recently on one of the Extra Movie Butter podcasts, JTE showed him up. Thus, the match became. So, I'm going to bring in both of our boys, and we're going to have an Extra Movie Butter Boys show. It's going to be Benny. It's going to be Benny versus JTE, and it's going to be me, Mark the Moose Haas, hosting as per usual with my opinions on these two gentlemen's performances. But first, I'm going to introduce, call him a Patriot, call him a Patriots fan. He's both, the one and only, the legendary JTE.
Hey, what's going on? I'm not in my usual fortress of solitude, but I got my AirPods on. These things cost $250, so I'm hoping the quality is pretty good for that price.
Well, you sound great, my friend.
Awesome. Maybe I should just podcast through these going forward.
Yeah, man. Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
I don't know. But hey, man, obviously the Extra Movie Butter Podcast was your baby. You're the one who came up with this idea to unite the fearsome threesome that is you, me, and Benny Hamlin. What about the three of us? Why should people turn into the Extra Movie Butter Podcast? The floor is yours, buddy. Talk some shit about Benny if you want to. It's all going to go down here in the next few minutes.
I mean, listen, Benny has such different opinions than I would say the mainstream audience, a lot of podcasters out there. And I like a challenge, like Arnold and Sly in the 80s. I want to go up against the best. And when it comes to debating film, sometimes Benny is the one I want to spar with because I understand where he's come from at times. And there's times where I have no idea where he's coming from. But either way, it makes for good podcasting. And you being the linchpin that kind of holds us both together and, is steering the ship into the storm that is debate. You are the Captain Ron to our ship, I may say.
That's high praise. That's high praise, man. That's high praise. I'll take Captain Ron any day of the week.
A great movie, but not 80s.
Yeah, not 80s. I am going to bring in your opponent, Benny, here. Before we do, any words on this 80s match? Now, this could be 80s TV. This could be 80s movies. We're kind of throwing it out there for you guys. Any words before I bring in Benny?
I think it'll be an interesting match because I think we're both strong with the 80s, but in different areas. So I'm very curious to see, depending on what the questions are, where he's strong. I think he'll get an idea of where we're strong and where we're not strong. And I think it'll make for a really even yet chaotic match.
Well, without further ado, I'm going to bring in your opponent, and that is the one and only Benny Hamlin.
Look at the headroom on that. My film school classes, that is called too much headroom. It's okay. You have to fix it. Perfect. That's way better.
You and JT make up the color commentary that is the Extra Movie Butter Podcast. You're our 80s aficionado, or at least you claim to be. This match, I think, will determine who will be the 80s aficionado of our group. That being said, Benny, why this match? Why did we agree to say yes to JT and his idea of the Extra Movie Butter Podcast?
Well, I said yes to the podcast because I didn't have anything better to do on Mondays. I live a pretty boring life. But I wanted this match with JTE because I always learn something about movies whenever I talk to JTE. He always knows something random that I don't know. And he says he's a fan of the 80s, but so far in his intro, he's referenced a 90s movie and he's wearing AirPods and not over-the-head headphones. So I'm feeling pretty confident going into an 80s match.
Fair enough.
I will say, I do believe Captain Ron, while an early 90s film, carries the spirit of the 80s film into the 90s. It is a throwback to the movies I loved the 80s.
Well, gentlemen, as an added twist, we are not going to give you guys multiple choice in round number 2. You guys are going to have to flex your 80s movie knowledge in round number 2. That being said, I will also be making up your bartender's hints on the fly, mostly because I just love you guys that much. And I also want to test my reflex ability.
Okay.
We'll figure it out. But gentlemen, are you guys ready? If so, show your whiteboards. Benny, why do you not have a whiteboard?
I don't like the squeaky sound that they make.
And I love the sound of the squeaky board.
Okay. And as one more added twist, because I know you guys will love this, all of round 1 is Sly and Arnie. Question number 1 in round 1 in the category of the one and only Sylvester Stallone. In what 1983 movie that was directed by Sly Stallone does Sylvester Stallone have a cameo as a man on a street? One confident, one taking his time.
It's not boding well.
Remember, as an added bonus, we're going to give you guys a couple extra bartender's hints this game, just because there's no multiple choice. They're 80s questions, so if you need it, just let me know, and I will make it up on the fly. But if you don't, we're going to count you down in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and JT, take it away.
That would be Staying Alive, the sequel too.
That is correct for 1 point. And Benny.
I just guessed Rumblefish. I was completely wrong.
The Francis Ford Coppola movie.
That is incorrect. JT takes the first gash in the 80s.
Yes. He bumps into him on the street.
Question number 2.
Stallone cannot not be in this movie. He's directing it. He was just a cameo.
Hence the man on the street cameo. Well, good recognition. Question number 2 is in Arnie the Great. Arnie the Great. In Commando, how does Colonel John Matrix kill Bennett, the former member of his team that he has kidnapped, or who kidnapped his daughter? There's a lot of interpretation on this one. I'm going to be lenient. Also, when you don't have a co-host, you have a lot of airtime to just fill on your own. So I might just answer questions about myself.
Okay.
Question 1, yes, I am a Rams fan. Question 2, we do play the Bengals tomorrow night, which would have been, if this is airing Thursday, 4 days ago. And Benny and I have somewhat of a bet. Hopefully we'll reveal that on the Extra Movie Butter podcast, which all of you should be downloading, subscribing, and tuning into. Benny, your answer, sir.
He throws a steam pipe through his middle, let off some steam.
Good enough. I'll give you the point for that. JT.
He impales him with a steam pipe.
Holy shit, that is exactly how it was written.
Well, because he doesn't throw the pipe. The pipe is broken, and then he throws him into it. Hence how the steam is able to come out.
I will give both of you a point for that. Well done. Question number 3 is in the category of Sly.
Let's go.
In Cobra, how does Sly Stallone end up killing the night slasher / leader of the New World cultists at the end of the film in the Steel Mill? Steel Mill. Steel Mill.
Oh my goodness.
Try saying Still Mill 5 times fast. Also, we're big on character deaths, obviously, in this one.
My goodness, I'm struggling.
The next question often asked of Marcos is, what is a inexpensive bourbon that goes a long way? My recommendation would be Wild Turkey 101. You can get a bottle for less than $20, and it goes a long way. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. JT, your answer, sir.
He hangs him on a large hook by his back. So basically, kind of lifts him up. There's like all these hooks that are just on like a conveyor belt. And he just kind of like you would hang up like a piece of meat at a butcher shop.
Good enough. He ends up being burned alive after that. Benny.
I went with the more simple hangs him in chains.
Hangs him in chains. Oh, JT,
no.
You want a challenge?
Here's what I'll say. If he had hung him and broke his neck by the chains, I think that would be an acceptable answer. But he literally gets stabbed in the back, which that alone would kill you. But he just happens to be on a conveyor belt that leads him into a fire pit. So the chain, at no point is there a chain. I mean, there's a chain that the hook is hooked up to, but that's not what kills him. So I'd have to argue no.
Oh, that's fair. I'll take the miss.
That is a fair argument. And for that, Benny gets the miss. Next question is in the category of Arnold Schwarzenegger. What actor portrays Thulsa Doom in Conan the Barbarian? Finally, one that I personally would know. I missed in the Schmodown, I missed a Conan the Destroyer question because I guessed Conan the Barbarian. Still won that match. Chance, looking at you, pal. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Benny, who plays Thulsa Doom?
James Earl Jones.
That is correct. And JT.
James
Points
Earl Jones.
for both. James Earl Jones himself. Darth Vader. Question number 5, gentlemen, is in the category of Sly Stallone.
Yeah.
What Oscar-nominated actor plays Yves Perret, the crime lord who arranges for detectives Tango and Cash to be framed for murder in the movie Tango and Cash? Fun fact about this. I often thought...
Don't kill me on spelling, right?
I will not. I often thought this guy was my grandfather for the longest time. My actual grandfather died when I was 2 weeks old. My grandmother remarried a Texan named Denzel Goforth, who looked just like this particular gentleman.
Okay. Giving a lot of clues here to Mr. Benny.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. JT, your guess.
That would be Jack Palance.
It is indeed Curly himself, Jack Palance. And Benny.
I went with the other obvious choice from Mexican drug lord F. Murray Abraham.
That is incorrect.
Jack, you're my number
Question
one
number
guy.
5 is in the category of Arnold dies. In the Terminator, how does Sarah Connor finally completely destroy the Terminator? I should have got a bonus point for being a host and throwing out Curly.
Yeah.
Because there was what? There was Curly. He was the Legend of Curly's Gold. And then Jack Palance was, oh God, what was the first character? Duke. Duke was the twin brother.
Yep.
Boom.
Oh, the sequel. Yeah, I like sequel.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. JT, your answer, sir.
It was a metal press in a factory. Not sure exactly what the machine was called, but some sort of metal press.
Yeah, we'll take it. Benny?
Machine press.
Yeah, we'll take both answers. Very well. Good job, guys. Question number 7 is in the category of Sylvester Stallone quotes.
There we go.
Complete Sly's lyrics from the movie Rhinestone. Stay out of my bedroom, baby, if blank. Also, remember, guys, you guys got some bartender's hints. If you need one, just let me know.
I'll use one.
All right. I think JT was waiting for that. The question is in the category of Sylvester Stallone quotes. It's complete the Sly Stallone quote from the movie Rhinestone. Stay out of my bedroom, baby, if blank. It's often said if you cannot stand the temperature of somewhere, you want to get out. The Sly Stallone quote is stay out of my bedroom, baby, if blank. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Benny, Mr. Detox himself. What's your guess?
If you won't go into my kitchen.
That is incorrect. And JT.
It's real hot.
So the quote is stay out of my bedroom, baby, if you can't take the heat. I'm going to declare both of you guys incorrect on that one.
I agree. That is not. As a Stallone fan, we try to disown that film.
Hey, look, everybody loves a little Dolly in their life, okay?
Yeah.
Question number 8 in the category of Arnold Schwarzenegger. What question does Dutch... Sorry, I need to re-ask this because as I'm reading this question, I love this question so much. What question does Dutch ask the alien at the end of Predator, which the creature then repeats back prior to it activating the self-destruct mechanism?
What does he ask him? Or
What
was he say to him?
question does Dutch ask the alien at the end of Predator, which the creature then repeats back to Dutch prior to activating the self-destruct mechanism?
What does he ask him?
At this point, the creature had been mask off.
Yeah. I see the scene. I'm just trying to remember what they say to each other. Okay, how many bartender hints do I get?
We'll figure that out after the game.
I'll take one. All
right. So the question is what question does Dutch ask the alien at the end of Predator, which then the creature repeats back before activating its self-destruct mechanism? So if you're unsure of what something completely is or completely looks like, you probably ask this question, and I'll give you a hint. There's a little bit of like the devil's lair involved in this question. Where does the devil live in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1? We gave a little extra time. Benny.
What the hell are you?
That is correct for a point. And JT.
I wrote, go to hell already.
That is incorrect. And your final question in the category of Sly Stallone. What is the name of the Green Beret team that John Rambo is the last remaining member of?
Oh, wow.
Little deep cut in the category of Rambo.
I know the team's names. Like he's like, yep, that's tough.
That is tough, which is why you have bartender's hints, which I could kindly give you if anyone elected to say 5, 4, 3, 2. We'll give Benny an extra second to write an answer. 1. And Benny will take your answer.
Black Death.
That is incorrect. And JT.
Foxtrot.
It is Baker team.
Baker team.
I would have painted a picture of you pulling out a loaf of bread from the oven.
Baker team. Wow. And I just saw First Blood in theaters like a month ago.
So at the end of this round, JT has the lead, 6 to Benny's 4. Benny's 4. Which means JT, you get your choice of round number 2, or you can defer to Benny, in which case Benny would go first and you would go second.
I'll go first.
You're going to go first. Perfect. Let's do this. And your wheel, we decided to have a little bit of 80s fun.
How many spins do I get?
You get one.
Is it one and
Unless you
done?
want to burn a bartender's hint, you spin again. But these are all movies for these 80s actors.
Okay. Do I have to tell you to stop?
You do, indeed.
Okay. Stop. I think that was Bill Murray.
It was Bill Murray. I apologize. I didn't stop. I exited out of the screen. So do you want to take 80s Bill Murray? Would you like to burn a repeat and spin again?
I'm going to stick with Bill Murray.
80s Bill Murray. Here we go. Question number 1 in the category of 80s Bill Murray. In Caddyshack, which attempt to kill the gopher causes the final putt of the big wager to drop into the hole for a birdie?
Like, how's he trying to kill him?
It was the final attempt on the gopher's life that
Correct.
resulted in a birdie.
Correct. What's the question? You made a statement. The final attempt caused the birdie.
In Caddyshack, what was the final attempt?
Oh, he tried
To
to
kill
blow
the
him up
gopher.
with dynamite.
I'll take it. Explosives, plastic
I don't know
dynamite.
exactly what kind.
That's
Yeah.
good for 2 points. Question number 2. Nominated for 9 Academy Awards, what performer won the sole Oscar for their performance in Tootsie?
Won an Oscar in Tootsie. Oh, he won for Rain Man. What's his name? What's his name?
Remember, you don't have multiple choice,
Yeah.
but you do have bartender's hints. So feel free to ask for one. Or
Who's the sole person who won an Oscar for acting? Is that what you said?
for the movie Tootsie.
Okay, so not acting. It could have been anything. I'm going to say Cindy Pollock.
That is incorrect. So, Benny, the question goes back to you. Nominated for 9 Academy Awards, what performer won the sole Oscar for their performance in Tootsie?
Let's see. If it's a movie you're not super familiar with, let's guess Diane Wiest.
That is incorrect. The correct answer is Jessica Lange.
Really?
Jessica Lange won the only Oscar for the movie Tootsie. Question number 3, Benny. Or, excuse me, JT.
JT.
In the category of 80s Bill Murray. In Scrooged, What gift does TV executive Frank Cross, played by Bill Murray, give to his staff and his brother on their Christmas list?
So he originally gives everybody towels, bath towels, but then his secretary, without his say, gives him like a brand new VCR double tape deck.
We'll stick with towels. Well done. Good job. Next question is in the category of Bill Murray from the 80s. In Little Shop of Horror, Bill Murray's character of Arthur Denton is based on the character Wilbur Force from the original 1960 film, which was originally played by what Oscar-winning iconic actor?
That'd be Jack Nicholson.
I had no idea that existed until I read that question. Well done for 2 points. Who directed Bill Murray along with Harold Ramis and John Candy in the 1981 classic Stripes?
That'd be Ivan Wright.
That is correct for 2 more points. Oh, and I love this question. The next question. What is the name of the demigod who possesses Dana Barrett and claims to be the gatekeeper in Ghostbusters?
Zool.
Zool is correct. By the way, you missed a Ghostbusters question
I know.
on Settle the Score.
Settle the
We're
Score.
not going to let you down for that. But
I heard that. I heard the song and I was like, I know this song. I just couldn't place it, man.
you did well, and Zool is the correct answer for 2 more points. So you got yourself a nice little lead. Well done. Well done. Benny, you're up to spin.
Stop.
You got Dan Aykroyd. 80s Dan Aykroyd.
You aiming for that John Candy, baby?
He was I think he was. I think he was.
Oh my goodness, this could go either way because we could get a bunch of Dr. Detroit questions. Shit. I'll take it.
Benny will take 80s Dan Aykroyd.
I think this is a mistake.
Let me pull it up. Oh, it's perfect. It's right next to 80s Bill Murray. Here we go. Benny, if you get this wrong, dude, okay. If you get this wrong, I may have to quit the Extra Movie Butter podcast, boys, and I might have to leave this show. What is the name of the 16th century tyrant and magician who comes to life from his painting in Ghostbusters 2?
Vigo, the Carpathian.
That is correct for 2 points. I sent you a artist rendition of the Ghostbusters from Ghostbusters 2 for Christmas last year. So if you got that wrong, I would leave.
It's a beautiful painting.
Yeah, thank you. I bought one for myself. I loved it so much. Question number 2. Who directed Dan Aykroyd and Chevy Chase in 1985's Spies Like Us?
Well, let's see. There's a 1 in 3 chance. I'm going to go with Ivan Reichman as well. No.
That is incorrect.
I picked the wrong one.
JTE for a 2-point steal. Who directed
John
Dan Aykroyd's?
Landis.
That is correct. Spies Like Us, directed by John Landis. Well done.
Ugh.
Benny, how much is the wager between Randolph and Mortimer Duke over their views of nature versus nurture in Trading Places?
$1.
That is $1 correct for 2 points. Next question. What is the name of the steak that Chet eats? Sorry, I love this movie so much. What is the name of the steak that Chet eats as a challenge at Paul Bunyan's cupboard in the movie The Great Outdoors?
Oh, man. I'm going to mix the numbers up. Yeah, I'm going to mix the numbers up. I'm going to go the old 96er.
That is correct for 2
Wow.
points. Good pull.
Quick question of challenge here.
Yes, sir.
Will there not be a John Candy question? Because John Candy is the one who eats the steak. Dan Aykroyd has nothing to do with it.
Yeah, but
That's
he
not
aids
true.
him into it.
He's
the
says
brother-in-law.
do it. What's that?
He's the brother-in-law of that movie. He eggs
Oh
him
yeah,
into
he's in the
doing it.
movie. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong.
One, he
But-
talks him into it, and then he makes him get down the gristle for some T-shirts for the kids.
Okay,
This
that's
is
true.
integral to the eating of it.
Because Benny will pull apart the gristle. Fact of that movie, he gets the 2 points for it.
All right.
Next question in the category of 80s Dan Aykroyd. What is the name of the cult that Friday and Strebeck end up investigating in the movie Dragnet?
Pagan.
Whoa, correct for 2 points. Boy, I don't know. I love that movie, and I don't know if I would have gotten that. Well done. And then your final question in the category of Dan Aykroyd in the 80s. In the movies Blues Brothers, what artist performed the song Minnie the Moocher, which he had originally recorded in 1931?
Cab Calloway.
Whoa.
Damn.
Even deeper cut for 2 more points. Well done, Benny. You gave away one with the John Landis, but still came up strong. So JT with 12 points in that round because he got the steal, and Benny with 10 points. That brings the score to JTE with the lead of 18 points to Benny's 14. So JTE, just tell me if you want category number 1 or category number 2 for your six pack.
We'll go with 1.
You're gonna go with 1. So Benny, you're gonna get category number 2. All right, Benny, you're up, and you're gonna be getting category number 2 in the category of 80s questions. Now, full disclosure, there could be 80s history, 80s television, or 80s movies. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
JT, remember, you have a Haas hole. At any point in time, you can bet that Benny will not get a question correct once you hear the category.
And there's 6 questions total?
There are 6 question totals, and Benny will be getting all of them. Benny, you also have a double down, which means you can double down at any point once you hear the category. Category number 1 is for 5 points in the category of No Rings for You / American History. 5 points, no rings for you.
Double down.
You're going to double down, which makes this worth 10 points potentially for you. What 2 Olympic Games had boycotts stemming from the war in Afghanistan during the 1980s?
Do you want the years of the countries? The years of the cities?
Let's see what you got.
All right. So it's Moscow and LA are the 2 Olympics.
Okay. Well done. Can you name the years by chance? Just curious.
I want to say it's 80 and 84.
Holy shit, that's worth 10 points for sure. Well done, Benny. Wow. All right. Well done. Next question is worth 4 points and is the category of what kind of buddy? What kind of buddy for 4 points? Tom Hanks and Peter Scolari starred as the bosom buddies. What were their alter egos, aka the women characters' first names that they played?
Oh, wow. Pauline and Jess. I have no clue.
Went for it without the bartender's hint, and that is incorrect. Incorrect. The answers were Buffy and Hildegard.
Okay. What point value was that again?
4 points.
Okay.
Thank Christ you did not ask for a bartender's hint for Hildegard. Next question is worth 6 points, and it is in the category of Sylvester Stallone.
I'll use my he's not gonna get it.
The household.
Okay, the
Household.
household. Benny, this is worth 12 points for you or 6 to JTE.
Okay.
What was the first name of Sylvester Stallone's character in Cobra?
Marion Cobretti.
Shit, that's worth 12 points to Benny. Well done. Well done.
Thought the 6-pointer would be hard, so I miscalculated there.
I thought that was an excellent 6-pointer. I would have guessed Gus. Next question is worth 1 point and is in the category of JCVD.
All right.
JCVD. What was the name of the event that Frank Dux was competing in the movie Bloodsport?
Kumite.
Well done. I would have said Kumite, but we're good to go on that spelling and question. Question number 2, or excuse me, the next question is worth 2 points and is in the category of should have been a soundtrack. Should have been a soundtrack for 2 points.
All right.
While not on the original soundtrack, what film features the classic song The Dock of the Bay, Sitting on the Dock of the Bay, and You've Lost That Lovin' Feeling?
Dirty Dancing?
That is incorrect. The answer is Top Gun.
Oh.
Sitting on the dock
Damn,
of
I
the
wish
bay.
I could steal that. I was like, ah!
You've lost that lovin' feeling. Top Gun. Last question is worth 3 points and is in the category of Robert Downey Jr. from the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
What 80s iconic actress starred opposite Robert Downey Jr. in the 1987 movie The Pickup Artist?
Oh. Dang. I've not thought about this movie in forever. I'll use the bartenders.
What 1980s iconic actress starred opposite Robert Downey Jr. in the 1987's The Pickup Artist? And your bartender's hint is, please, for the love of God, give this woman 16 candles to blow out.
Molly Ringwald.
That is correct for 3 points. Do that again.
Okay.
So at the end of that stellar round, Benny, you got 40 points total. You gained 26 on that individually with your double down and your successful navigation of the hostel. This brings the score to 40 points to 18 points. JT, you have your double down. Benny, you have your hostel. You boys ready?
Let's do it.
Mm-hmm.
JT, your first question is in the category of not the POTUS, American history for 5 points.
Household.
Benny has household you,
Mm-hmm.
which means this is worth 10 to you or 5 to him. After having defeated the incumbent Jimmy Carter in the 1988 presidential election, he also proceeded to defeat Carter's VP in the 1984 election. What was the former vice president that was the Democratic nominee?
Can I get a repeat?
Yep. For sure.
That's a lot.
Yep.
Who did Reagan beat in '84?
Sorry?
I was just simplifying the question.
Okay, so who ran against Reagan in 1984? Was that your question?
No, that's the question you're asking.
Okay, yes. After having defeated incumbent Jimmy Carter in the 1980 presidential election, he proceeded to defeat Jimmy Carter's vice president in the 1984 election. Who was the former vice president that was the Democratic nominee?
Hmm. So he was never president, is what you're saying.
He was not.
Ted Kennedy? I'm
Did
going with
Walter
Kennedy.
Mondale?
shocked that you knew who Walter Mondale was.
I've never heard of that name in my life.
Yep. Me too. So Benny will get the 5 points for that one. You're still in it. You got your double down. Wait for the 6-pointer. Next question is for 3 points and is in the category of Genie is out of the bottle. For what two 1980s films did Robin Williams receive Oscar nominations?
Dead Poet Society and Good Morning Vietnam.
That is correct for 3 big points. Your next question is in the category of Pity the Small Screen for 2 points. Pity the Small Screen for 2 points. Clubber Lang, or rather Mr. T, played team.
You cut out there. Can you repeat that?
Sure. Clubber Lang, or rather as I know him, Mr. T, played what character in the 1980s show, The A-Team?
Hannibal.
That is incorrect.
No.
B.A. Baracus.
He played B.A. Baracus.
Who played Hannibal? Is that the main guy?
George.
Yeah, that's the main guy. That's a Liam Neeson character.
Got it. Yep.
Ooh. Yikes. Okay. So you only got a couple more chances left here. Category number 4 is in the category, the next category is in the category of Little Shop of Mermaids for 4 points. Little Shop of Mermaids for 4 points. What actor voices the role of Audrey 2, the evil and boisterous flytrap extraterrestrial plant that feeds on humans in the 1986 movie Little Shop of Horrors?
I have no idea. Frank Oz.
You
directed it.
You can also a bartender's hint if you would like.
I know no, because I don't even know. I have no idea. So even if I got a hint, I don't think it would help.
Fair enough. The answer is Levi Stubbs.
Yep,
The bartender's hint would have been if you wore a pair of jeans and then hit your toe on the corner of a table.
I don't think I would have got that.
It comes down to this. Your 6-point question is in the category of date night. 6 points.
Oh, no.
It behooves you to double down on this.
Double down.
What was the full date that the Terminator arrived in Los Angeles in Terminator? You can guess.
Like, are you talking about like month, day, and year?
Yes, although I'll give it to you if you can get the year.
I have no idea. 83?
And your loser, folks. Your loser tonight is the one and only JTE, which means Benny. Benny, the American icon, is the American icon of the 80s, folks. He is the winner of tonight's match. Got a little tricky in the third round. I think for both of you guys. Benny, for some reason, I think is still continuing to read historical books from the 1980s. Is able to just pull facts from that. But as far as the movie trivia knowledge goes, JT went into round number 3 with the lead. Benny pulled it out with some expert navigation of the Haas-Hole rule and, of course, the double down rule. So we're going to turn it over to one of the extra movie butter boys, the illustrious Benny Hamlin, who is the winner of today's 80s match, to pitch, promote. It better be Extra Movie Butter podcast related, or we might have to drop you from the podcast. But Benny, take it away. No threats.
Yes, JTE clearly bested me on 80s movie knowledge. I just edged him out on 80s history.
That seems to happen to me a lot in this show. I think every time I'm on, I'm doing really well until I get to outside the movie knowledge. Once we get outside movie knowledge, it's all downhill.
Thank you, A&E, the old A&E that used to show the old History Channel, pre-History Channel documentaries for this win. It's all on you. You can always find me here on Thursdays doing trivia with Moose, and every Tuesday/Wednesday, depending on when we can, the Extra Movie Butter podcast on iTunes and Spotify. be there, or you're pathetic.
I mean, the square is where the 80s would have taught us to go to, but that's okay, because up next is the heart and soul of the Extra Movie Butter podcast, the one and only JT. The floor is yours. Pitch, promote. Better be Extra Movie Butter related.
Yeah, just Extra Movie Butter podcast. All three of us just talking movies, 80s, 90s, and up to the 2000s. This week, or whenever this airs, we'll be talking about an 80s type movie in a more modern time with Expendables 4. This is a tough pill to swallow. I felt like I did well in the movie portion. I'll be honest, I don't know who the guy from Little Shop of Horrors is. Has he ever acted in movies?
On Broadway, quite a bit.
Oh, there you go. Broadway. Yeah. So, I think my biggest mistake was giving him the double down on the Cobra question. I thought the 6 would be, a tougher question, but it all luck of the draw, man. Happened in Schmodown, happens here on, what's the name of the show?
The Extra Movie Butter podcast.
No, this one.
Benny and Moose Save America.
Benny and Moose Save the World. Yeah, Save America. Trivia.
We could save the world. I mean, once
you could.
That's next season.
Yeah, up and up every season, man. You go to world, universe, galaxy, just keep going up.
Well, gentlemen, you guys know this. We do this podcast every week, and I love you guys. I have so much fun doing it with you guys. It gives me an excuse to go see the newest movie release. And this week, we will be reviewing The Expendables, a very 80s-like JTE pointed out movie. This has got all the classic 80s actors that you could want in this movie, maybe minus Megan Fox and 50 Cent. But the rest of them were probably all like 80s, like action stars at some point in time. So, well, gentlemen, I'm very appreciative of you guys being here. I'm going to throw this out that at some point we're going to need to redo this, and it's just going to need to be 80s movies only.
Yeah.
Agreed?
I'm down.
I'll take you, Bob.
It'll work in my favor, I think.
Well,
I don't even know who that presidential candidate is. Like, I've never heard of him. I have no idea. Never heard of him.
Is he like local to Ohio? Is that how you know of this candidate, Benny?
He was the vice president of the United States.
But
okay, good night, everybody. We love you.
Loser. We don't remember the losers. We remember the winners.
All right, good night, everyone.
Thanks
for tuning in.
Give me a Ross Perot. Someone that sticks out.
Let me give my dog a second to stop drinking, and then we'll move forward. Darby's a thirsty dog.